Let me say good evening to everyone and welcome to the Muskogee City Council meeting for August 23rd, 2021. We will have the invocation by Councilor Alex Reynolds, followed by the flag salute. Let us stand.
Heavenly Father, please forgive us of our sins. Please watch over us and guide us, Lord. Help us as we do the business of the city. Please watch over our citizens and our employees as we slide back into flu and COVID season. Watch over and guide us and give us direction. Help us find the right thing to do for our citizens and the fine folks of Muskogee County. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Let us look to the flag. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Here.
Alex Reynolds. Stephanie Morgan.
Here.
Tracy McGee.
Here.
Tracy Hoos.
Here.
We will now consider the minutes for the regular session of August 9th or take unnecessary action. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes or any corrections?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the August 9th minutes? Roll call.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds. Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. We will now consider the consent agenda, which consists of items 1 through 14. Are there any items on the consent agenda that we need to move to the regular agenda, or do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as is?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Item number 15.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments July 24th, 2021 through August 6th, 2021, or take other necessary action.
Do we have any discussion concerning the claims?
The purchasing committee did meet last week and we approved all the claims. So I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Item number 16.
Receive report on the Oklahoma Festival of Ballooning scheduled for August 27th through 29 at Hatbox Field and take other necessary action.
Mr. Miller.
Yes, thank you. What we have before you today is just a brief presentation. We do have the Oklahoma Festival Ballooning that is beginning this weekend. And I want to take just a minute to remind this is an event put on by the city. And so we've worked with partners and sponsors, but city staff does a whole lot of hard work to bring this fine event to the community. It brings people in from outside and also is a benefit to our citizens here as well. I'd like to ask Mark Wilkerson to come to give information about times and places and locations and the fun events that are going on. But I just want to remind you, this is something that we take on to try and make sure that is a value to our citizens as a city.
Mayor and City Council members, just to show you, as the manager said, just to brief you on what's happening this weekend. It begins Friday evening. Gates open at 7 o'clock. The show starts at 6. We'll have the kids' activities. We'll have the balloon flights. We'll have the parachute jumping in with the national anthem, with the flag, with the national anthem again. We'll have an on-stage performance. Of course, the balloon glow, the finale with the fireworks, all that happening each night. So please join us. It's a great event for Muskogee, and we couldn't do it without our sponsors. In particular, Love Bottling is our presenting sponsor this year. They stepped up to help us out, and then you see many of the others, St. Francis and Bravado and Community Care, all those, Bank First, Muskogee Phoenix, T-Mobile, American Bank, Charlie's Chicken, LaFerry, Propane, First Star, Armstrong, and GH2 Architects, and Green Country LED. I guess I couldn't start one without reading them all, so we're very appreciative for all the sponsors. But basically, you know, it's at Hatbox. Some shots of the balloons, some shots of the stage that we bring in for the event for the concert that night. Saturday morning will be the 5K run, Up and Away 5K is the name of our 5K run, sponsored by St. Francis. So if you're a runner, please come join us. And then, of course, the finale with the fireworks shows is quite spectacular. It's worth the trip out there. So that's the brief overview about Oklahoma Festival of Ballooning. The manager mentioned that this is something that the Parks Department has created. We use a company out of Kansas City called Kansas City Aerosports, who are the balloon specialists, and they bring the balloon teams in. And so we do it for the tourism. We try to draw people to come to Muskogee to hopefully do overnight stays with the multi-day event. So any questions that I might try to answer?
Are tickets available, and if they are, how does the public go about getting them?
Well, they're not tickets. The admission, sorry, I didn't mention that, is $5 per carload. So load up, bring 2 families together if you want to. The sponsors in the VIP parking is available. All of our sponsors and, of course, our city council, those will be made available to you as well. So there are charges for the other things. There's tethered rides that you can pay to. You can pay to ride in a helicopter. The inflatables have a cost for an armband for the kids to play. So there's those costs. And, of course, there'll be a food court with food and beverages and vendors and exhibitors. And it'll be a festival.
Sounds good. Is there any questions from the council for either Mr. Wilkerson or Mr. Miller?
Great job, Mark. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 17.
Consider approval to accept a donation from the Miriam K. Friedman and Raymond Friedman Charitable Remainder Unitrust in the amount of $147,000 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Wilkerson.
Mayor and council members, some of you probably knew Miriam Friedman. She was a big supporter of Muskogee, a big supporter of Parks and Recreation. She loved Honor Heights Park, gave us money through the Kirshner Trust that she helped manage over the years, year after year, and so we were very appreciative of her. She's deceased this past year, and her trust has left this amount of money for given to the Parks Department. We asked for you to accept that donation as recommended by staff and Park and Recreation Board.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson. Do we have any questions regarding this item or a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. We want to take this time to also acknowledge the work that Ms. Freeman did. When I first arrived in Muskogee nearly 11 years ago now, she was one of the first people who introduced herself to me, and she was a champion for being certain that that trust was always available to the residents of Muskogee, and so we appreciate that. Thank you. Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Item number 18.
Consider designating the donation from the Miriam Friedman Trust to be used towards the purchase of a Wattman trackless train as recommended by the Park and Recreation Board or take other necessary action.
Mr. Wilkerson.
Mayor and council members, this item is something that we've talked about in the past. We've made application to the foundation to purchase one of these trains. We first started talking about this trackless train as an addition to Honor Heights Park in the Garden of Lights. But as we developed the Depot district and the Depot Green, it became obvious to me that with the Depot theme and a train theme, that the train would be better suited in the downtown and the Depot district area. So I have a presentation just of a few things to show you about what we've been doing with the Depot district. And when I say Depot district, I would like to recognize some partners that are here with today. Ren Stratton is the chair of the Depot District Committee. Andrea Chancellor, Ann Ong is here. There might be somebody else. I hope I didn't miss somebody if I'm introducing. But anyway, we've been working together with the stakeholders that make up the Depot District, the Hall of Fame, the theater, the museum, the Three Rivers Museum. And what we've created is, of course, a beautiful space. I hope you've been there and enjoyed it. This is a picture of our ribbon cutting ceremony that was early when we dedicated the park in early May. We created something we call All Aboard Thursday, which is a food truck and games. It's in music, that we have live music every evening on Thursdays. And then we've had movie nights. We just had our last movie night this past Friday night where we showed Twister, but this was in cooperation with the Roxy Theater and supported by the Muskogee, Visit Muskogee Tourism. Just a couple of pictures of how we did this. Green Country LED was helpful with this because they provided this LED screen that we put in the park. Picture, it's not a very good one. Hope it's better on your monitor, but it's because it's getting dark there. This is just a photo of one of our movie nights and the people that come. And this is as the sun sets. So our next event is called Local Motion. I hope you've seen or heard a little bit about it already, and this won't read very well, but this is a kind of a promotional piece about the Local Motion, about what it is. It's a arts festival that we hope to have annually in the Depot District, in the Depot Green and in the spaces throughout. We hope to grow it so it grows into all the streets in that Depot District. But an arts festival, music, food, entertainment, food, beverages. And in this particular, in our first event, we're again partnering with the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame, and they're going to do an induction ceremony for Ann Bell that evening. And Ann Bell is former Tulsa resident, but she will perform, and she'll be dynamite. So we'll have performances all day that day from 11 o'clock until probably 9 o'clock that evening. So anyway, just a couple of slides. Of course, the Muskogee Depot District is just that area, and the archway is the kind of the anchor of the piece. But arts and entertainment is what we're showing. So that leads us into our next activity, is our Depot District Christmas. And again, with the stakeholders, I just wanted to point out that we invested last year into the Christmas lighting, with the purchase of lights that were installed at the Depot Green and the new Christmas tree that we bought there for the Depot Green, and then we put lights on the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame and across the street at the Three Rivers Museum. And as a partnership, in this collaboration of the stakeholders, everybody will have an activity this is what's unique about it, because for example, the little theater will be doing A Christmas Story, which is a musical, in December. Of course, Three Rivers Museum and the Roxy, they partnered to do the Polar Express. I think that this new trackless train could be a key part of their Polar Express event. And then the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame has had in the past this Buddy Holly Christmas, and they're talking about bringing that back. That was something that Jim Blair did for the Music Hall of Fame, and so we're hopeful they will, and some other events that are happening at the Hall of Fame during the Christmas season. So we intend to package this up as a whole Christmas season of activities to do. And what we are proposing is that the trackless train that would operate there during the Christmas time, this is an example of the train with lights. I think I showed, some of you have seen these images before, but the train is a miniature train, but it's big enough for adults and kids to ride in. It can operate right there at the Depot Green at Christmas time. This is another look about what the train would actually look like. It's a realistic looking train. It has smoke. It has a train whistle. It has the train bell. The wheels on the train, on that train engine, move as though they're working. threw this slide in because, of course, it wouldn't just be used at the Depot Green or just at the Christmas time. The trains could be used in all of our parades, the Azalea Parade, the Veterans Parade, the Martin Luther King Parade, Christmas Parade. We can make the train available and then, of course, at the Depot Green. So, you know, as I mentioned early on, we first got this idea about Honor Heights Park, but, you know, we already attract 200,000 people that come to the Garden of Lights in December. And so the idea is that we can promote and create this other activity downtown and have all these people that come, most of them from out of town, that probably never come to town. They're going to be at Honor Heights Park, or they're going to be at the castle, and then they're going to go home. But if we create this, all these activities that are happening at nighttime by these other partners down there, and then in this activity of the train could be the centerpiece for the Depot Green Christmas, and we think that we can draw many of those visitors from Honor Heights Park and from the castle on into downtown Muskogee. So with that, I'll stop and try to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson. Do we have any questions for Mr. Wilkerson or direction from the council as how to proceed?
I move for approval.
Second.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I really recognize.
Yes, Mr. Van.
On this train, how much this train weigh?
Pardon?
How much the weight would be, just a possibility?
The weight? I'm not sure we have the specifications, but
I know you was talking about riding it around. Are you gonna ride it on the street, or you know you're not gonna ride it on the grass?
no, but the sidewalks are designed that we'll probably just keep it on the sidewalks.
Will it be on the trail at all?
Yes.
Okay. I was just trying to, you know, see what the direction was going.
Right. Well, we've kind of created some routes that, that we're considering, and it will just kind of go up and back and forth and through the lights. You know, at Christmas time, the park would be decorated. So.
Okay. I was just wondering on that.
Mark, how much is the train?
The train with the features that we're looking for is around $90,000.
What are you going to do with the leftover money?
Not recommending anything at this time. It's been put in our park development fund, so it's earmarked for park projects.
I'm just kind of being nosy. What were some of the other ideas?
Well, we talked about, I presented to Park Board some other ideas of needs that we have at Honor Heights Park. Of course, azalea replacements and the plants that we lost in the freeze this past year. We were considering buying a piece of property adjacent to Honor Heights Park was another idea. Do you remember one? I don't remember.
Yeah, you were gonna fix that, walk.
Oh, the bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah, so we are gonna, we're gonna replace the pedestrian bridge at the spillway at Honor Heights Park. And I think that we will still do that. We're been told that we have another donation pending to help do that as well. And the Friends of Honor Heights Park want to help do that as well, so.
Mark, will there be any way to, on the train, to acknowledge the Freedmans by plaques or wordings or some type of a symbolism?
Sure. I think that's appropriate, and we could do that.
Yeah, I think that would be a great. You know, I'm sure she'd be overjoyed to see that we're enjoying the fruits of her work. She was a great lady, and I would like for future generations to know that she passed this way.
I think that's a good idea, and we'll make sure that we can do that.
Mark, will we be able to use the train in other areas? For instance, we just had the steam engine come and travel and tourism
Right.
to lease another train to try to do a similar thing to what you're talking about.
Right.
Will that be available
Sure.
for other activities?
Sure.
Other than
Yeah, it'll be available for community events, I believe. I mean, the only limitation would be, you know, that where we try to operate it, that it's safe. I mean, traveling down streets is going to have to be, you know, that are still open to traffic is probably going to have to be, you know, seriously considered. But if we can close down streets, then sure, we can use it anywhere.
One last question. Will this have blinkers and signals and things of that nature?
I don't know. I don't think it does. It's not a street legal vehicle.
You might consider asking when you order or put the package together if they have a harness kit where we can add that. Stitt has approved some legislation that's coming in early November where you're going to see golf carts, side-by-sides, and other vehicles that have not been street legal will be legalized.
Okay.
If this did have the signals and some of the brake lights, some of the necessary things, and we worked with Chief Teehee and some of his staff, we might be able to use it a little bit more on some of the roads downtown.
Sure.
I think this is a great project because out in the Honor Heights, you always have something going on. And I'm glad the depot and the people here from the depot are here tonight. And myself personally, and I'm sure Deputy Mayor agrees with me, this gives life to Ward 3 down there in that area. So I'm pleased and I'm proud. I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Van. Any other comments from the council on tonight? We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Item number 19.
Consider approval of final payment to MGS Construction Services Incorporated for the remodel of Fire Station Number 3 in the amount of $1,000 or take other necessary action.
Mr. Reeves.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Fire station number 3 had previously, the firefighters had been staying in one large bedroom. We remodeled the fire station so that they could have separate sleeping accommodations. We added 4 new bedrooms, 1 in a locker room. We separated the lockers. We provided them with fans, lighting, outlets, TVs, and obviously doors to each bedroom. There was also a intercom system added to the station as well for those independent bedrooms. Punch list items were taken care of successfully and approved by the previous fire chief. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Staff does recommend approval.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Reeves or a motion to proceed?
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any further conversation? Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Item number 20.
Discuss and take action to develop a plan to transfer the management and operations of the city's economic development program and related efforts to the Muskogee Redevelopment Authority.
Councilor McGee.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I bring this item tonight because to give us access to our city economic development program efforts. As we all know, economic development fosters growth and development in our city. For the very first time, this council, has the opportunity to focus on creating jobs, wealth, and economic growth in our community. We have an opportunity to help shape the future by directly being involved. By moving the economic development program to the MRA, the Muskogee Redevelopment Authority, it gives us the ability to work directly with the economic development director and staff by way of communication and action. We have a chance to be involved directly. I'm going to read some background that I got from Roy Tucker, our city attorney, just so that we all know what the background and requirements are for this to take place. Background. The MRA is a public trust of the city and is governed by a 9-member board of trustees who are the same members as the city council. So we are the trust. The MRA's purpose is to promote, plan, construct, and develop any and all public work projects, commercial and industrial projects or facilities, hospitals or other healthcare facilities, energy, transportation, recreational, culture, tourism, entertaining, and communication meeting projects or facilities. We also participate in the elimination of blighted areas. It promotes the development of adequate housing, by making loans to nonprofit sponsors of housing or owners to improve or rehab, provide funds and assistance to remedy shortage of housing and upgrade substandard housing. The trusts are empowered to appoint the general manager, and they also directly employ any other clerical, professional, legal, and technical assistance as they deem necessary. For their employees, the trustees may set their own salaries and fix their terms and conditions of employment. So you can have your employees directly report to you as a trustee. The trustee also authorized to create the bylaws provided by the internal management structure. The requirements for this to happen, they must meet the Economic City Development Program to the MRA. First, transfer either by contract or by ordinance the duties of handling the Economic Development Program from the city to the MRA. Develop bylaws would outline the internal management structure of the MRA, particularly as it relates to the handling of economic development. Amend City Code 74-237, which created the Economic Development Funding and the Economic Opportunity Account. Currently, the ordinance outlines how economic development dollars can be spent for a particular project. But if all these duties are transferred to the MRA should establish their own procedures in their bylaws. Fourth, pass a city budget amending transferring economic development funds to the MRA. Fifth, pass a MRA budget amending accounting for the additional revenue transferred from the city. Six, develop a plan for transferring any city employee or hiring new ones. Seven, ensure that the future employees will be covered by the city insurance plan and retirement. And finally, formally adopt any personnel policies for non-contract employees if necessary. You may not necessarily need that. This can be handled upon the employment agreement. I present this to you tonight for consideration for us to move it, and also ask that staff show us what that looks like.
Thank you,
Put my
Council.
motion on the floor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Councilor McGee. So is the motion to bring back the plan for the council to review?
Yes, sir, and to move it over. Can we move it and review, sir? Or should we
I can't
review?
speak for the council. My preference would be to review and then move it.
Okay.
That would be mine. Any discussion from the council on that? If that's the motion, I would second it. Council McGee, that,
Any other council have any?
I would like to review, maybe have a luncheon on it.
Okay, well, I'll put the motion to review and then move it over.
yes, ma'am. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion from the council on this item? Roll call?
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes?
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Item number 21.
Receive, report, and discuss the recent national championship won by Green Country Muskogee softball team and take other necessary action.
Everybody clap like your favorite baseball team just won. No. You clap too soon. Clap like your favorite team just won. We have so much to be proud of here in the city of Muskogee. This past week, the Green Country Little League softball team won. They won the championship and are representing Muskogee well. You're supposed to clap again. We're so excited to have this accomplishment here in Muskogee, and we want to celebrate this team properly. We're going to have a grand celebration on August 29th at 4:00 p.m. on the grounds of the Muskogee Civic Center. We're encouraging all of our residents from all over. The team is made up from young people, not just in the city of Muskogee, but from the entire region. It's going to be a nice festival. We're going to celebrate them properly, give them all the accolades and tokens that we can bestow upon them, because for many communities, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to celebrate something good. And let me be clear, before we go on to the next items, that for all of the keyboard ninjas that will say everything negative about Muskogee, we have a lot of good things going on in Muskogee. We have a lot of good things going on in Muskogee. And celebrating young people is one of those things that we need to take advantage of. So we're looking forward to August 29th at 4 o'clock p.m. on the grounds of the Muskogee Civic Center. Let's come out in full numbers. Let's remind all of our citizens that we have something to be proud of that we can celebrate together. So we're looking forward to that event. Let's practice that one more time. They just won. It's exactly how we want to act when we see them walking towards the field in front of Hatbox on that night. Council, any comments on that item?
You've covered it all. We're looking forward to celebrating the team.
And I would like to throw out there, this is the first time that has happened for an Oklahoma team in any city.
Let's cheer again.
Yay!
Any others? Thank you, Council. We have no citizens having signed up to speak tonight. Item number 22.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. A, pursuant to Section 307C11, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss matters pertaining to economic development within northwest quadrant of the city, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. B, pursuant to Section 307C11, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session for the purpose of conferring on matters pertaining to economic development within the central business district of the city, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. C, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss a pending claim or action related to the 24th Street Improvement Project, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. D, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local Number 2465, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. E, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters, Local Number 57, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. F, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 95, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. G, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the workers' compensation claim of Kevin Etchison, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session. H, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the ongoing litigation styled Quintana DBA Fort Gibson Investments v. City of Muskogee, filed in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Oklahoma, case number 19CV066RAW, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session.
Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion to go into executive session. Roll call.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes, thank you. We're going to ask that all of you will excuse yourself from the room at this time, and we will reconvene shortly. We will now reconvene from executive session. Roll call.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Yeah, here.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Here.
Alex Reynolds.
Here.
Stephanie Morgan.
Here.
Tracy McGee.
Here.
Tracy Hoos.
Mr. Tucker.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 22A, pursuant to Section 307C11, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss an economic development project within the northwest quadrant of the city. However, there is no action that's necessary at this time. Item 22B, pursuant to Section 307C11, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss an economic development project within the central business district.
After discussion, an appropriate motion would be to direct staff to move forward to negotiate and bring back an economic development agreement with the proposed developer based upon the terms discussed in executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Do we have a motion to that effect?
Move for motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
No.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Item 22C, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, the City Council did convene an executive session to discuss a pending claim or action related to the 24th Street project. Now, while no action is necessary at this time, this item has been directed by, staff has been directed to place this item back on the September 13th agenda. Item 22D, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss negotiations with the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, Local Number 2465. After being informed that an agreement was reached, an appropriate motion would be to approve a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Muskogee and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local Number 2465, for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, subject to the union vote.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Do we have a motion to that
For
effect?
approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs. Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 22E, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss ongoing negotiations with the International Association of Firefighters, Local Number 57. After being briefed on the status of those ongoing negotiations, no action is necessary at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker.
Item 22F, pursuant to Section 307B2, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the City Council did convene an executive session to discuss ongoing negotiations with the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 95. After being briefed on the status of those negotiations and that an agreement was reached, I believe an appropriate motion would be to approve a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Muskogee and the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 95, for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, subject to the union vote.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Roll call.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Alex Reynolds.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes. Mr. Tucker.
Item 22G, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council convened an executive session to discuss the ongoing workers' compensation claim of Kevin Etchison. After being briefed on the status of that claim and that an appeal was filed in that case, no action is necessary on behalf of the council at this time. Item 22H, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, the council did convene an executive session to discuss the ongoing litigation styled Quintana DBA Fort Gibson Investments versus City of Muskogee, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Oklahoma. After being briefed on the status of that case, no action is necessary at this time. However, staff was directed to bring the item back within 30 days. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. That was our last item for tonight. We are adjourned.
Thank you.